In the quiet town of Calcutta, there was a young boy named Narendra Dutta, whose curiosity knew no bounds. His eyes, dark as the monsoon clouds, sparkled with a hunger for knowledge that was rare for his age. Every morning, before the cock crowed and the neighborhood awoke, he could be found nestled in the corner of his family's library, surrounded by dusty tomes that whispered of ancient wisdom and forgotten lore. His mother, Bhuvaneshwari Devi, watched him with a mix of pride and bewilderment, for she knew her son was not like the other children. One fateful day, a man named Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, a renowned scholar and reformer, visited the Datta household. His eyes fell upon the young boy, engrossed in a book, and he knew that this was no ordinary child. He spoke to the boy's father, Biswambar Datta, a well-respected attorney, about the potential he saw in him. A bond was forged that very instant, and Ishwar Chandra agreed to tutor Narendranath in his quest for knowledge. Under the stern yet nurturing gaze of his new teacher, the boy's mind grew sharper, his thoughts more profound, and his spirit more restless. Their lessons grew into a dance of intellect and wit. Ishwar Chandra's lessons were not just about letters and numbers, but about the very fabric of the universe, the mysteries of the soul, and the power of human will. He taught the boy to question everything, to seek truth beyond the veil of dogma and superstition. Each day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the study room, the two would delve into discussions that lasted until the candles burned low. It was during one of these intense sessions that a life-altering event occurred. Narendranath was recounting a story he'd read about a saint who had performed a miracle. Ishwar Chandra, with a twinkle in his eye, challenged him to find the true essence of spirituality without relying on the tales of miracles. He said, "If you wish to understand the divine, you must look within yourself. Miracles are merely the whispers of the divine in the language of the ordinary." The words stuck in Narendranath's mind like a persistent mosquito on a sultry night. He began to question everything he knew, seeking the truth that lay beyond the myths and legends. His curiosity grew into a ravenous beast, gnawing at the edges of his understanding, pushing him to explore the depths of his soul. One evening, as the first stars began to twinkle in the velvet sky, a feverish urgency took hold of him. He felt an inexplicable pull towards the banks of the holy river Ganges. With a satchel filled with books and a heart full of questions, he set off, the cobblestone streets echoing with the rhythmic patter of his bare feet. Upon reaching the river, he saw a group of sadhus, their faces etched with the lines of 1,000 prayers, their eyes reflecting the timeless wisdom of the ages. Narendranath approached them, his voice quivering with the excitement of discovery. He asked them about their beliefs, their practices, and the miracles they had seen. They spoke of renunciation and the pursuit of inner peace, but their answers did not satisfy his ravenous hunger for truth. He decided to stay with them, living the austere life of a monk, hoping to find the answers he sought. His days were filled with meditation, the study of ancient texts, and the rigorous practice of self-discipline. The nights, however, brought him no closer to his goal, only feverish dreams and restlessness. One night, as the Ganges whispered her secrets to the shore, a vision came to him. A figure, radiant with an inner light, stood before him. The figure spoke, not with words, but with a silent intensity that seemed to penetrate his very being. It was as if all the answers he had ever sought were laid bare before him, but he could not understand the language in which they were spoken. The vision haunted him, and he could not shake it from his thoughts. His teacher, Ishwar Chandra, noticed the change in him and suggested that perhaps he needed a new guide on his spiritual quest. With a heavy heart, Narendranath bid farewell to the sadhus and returned to Calcutta, his mind ablaze with questions and his soul yearning for a mentor who could interpret the enigma of his vision. One sweltering afternoon, as he wandered the crowded streets of Calcutta, he stumbled upon a lecture hall where a man named Ramakrishna Paramhamsa was speaking. The saint's words were like a cool breeze through the scorching heat of his confusion, and his eyes, filled with an otherworldly compassion, seemed to hold the key to the mysteries that plagued him. Narendranath felt drawn to Ramakrishna like a moth to a flame. He began to visit the saint often, their conversations stretching into the early hours of the morning. Ramakrishna spoke of a personal God, of love and devotion as the path to true understanding. His simple yet profound teachings resonated with the young seeker, and the saint's unshakable faith began to pierce the armor of doubt that had been forged by his earlier intellectual pursuits. The bond between the two grew stronger, and Ramakrishna soon recognized in the young boy a kindred spirit, a soul destined for greatness. He took Narendranath under his wing, guiding him through the tumultuous waters of spirituality with a gentle hand and an open heart. The saint's unorthodox methods often surprised and sometimes infuriated the young scholar, but he knew that his teacher saw something in him that he could not yet see in himself. Ramakrishna's influence was profound. He taught Narendranath to look beyond the rigid doctrines of his education and embrace the boundless love of God. He encouraged him to meditate and to experience the divine directly, rather than seek it through the dusty pages of ancient texts. The young man struggled at first, his restless mind rebelling against the stillness required for true contemplation. But with patience and perseverance, he began to glimpse the reality beyond the veil of the material world. During one such meditation session, the room filled with an inexplicable presence, and the air grew thick with the scent of sandalwood and jasmine. The walls seemed to dissolve, and in their place, a vast, infinite expanse unfolded. Narendranath felt himself merging with this cosmic consciousness, his soul expanding to encompass the universe. The vision from the banks of the Ganges returned to him, but this time he understood the silent language it spoke. The answers he sought were not in the performance of miracles, but in the realization of the divine within.